As parents, there's nothing more precious to us than our children. We want to protect them from harm, and if there's anything we can do to keep them safe, we do it. We know that there's danger all around, even in the home. But if we take the right precautions, we're confident we can keep them reasonably safe. Outside, it's a different world. One of the greatest risks our children face is traffic. More children aged 5 and over are killed or injured on the roads than through any other accidental cause. That it could happen to our child doesn't bear thinking about. But we need to think about it and do what we can to make sure that our child doesn't get hurt. Let's face it, all roads are dangerous for young children. Even at a pedestrian crossing, a child would not be safe from a driver who jumped a red light. That's why throughout this DVD, you won't hear children being told to find a safe place to cross. It's people, not places, that are safe. We can't be with them 24 hours a day. We've got to get them to understand that they can take responsibility for themselves. But how? By telling them to do as we do? As parents, we're role models for our children, the best teachers they could ever have. But we need to make sure we set them a good example. And in a world of ever-increasing traffic, we must help them learn how to stay safe on the roads. In this DVD, we'll show you how to do that, using the methods that road safety trainers use. You'll see how simple it is for you to improve your child's understanding of road safety and pass on the skills they need if they're to avoid this. We may think we're helping our children when we tell them to take care and mind the road, but is it really helping them? It's just words, and as we all know, words can go in one ear and out the other. We need to actually do something to help them stay safe. Train them, and do it in a way that they'll understand. Children don't think the way we do. They see the world through different eyes. Ask an adult who's to blame if a child runs into the road and gets knocked down, and they'd probably say the child was at fault. Ask a child who was to blame, and you'd get a different answer.
The car's fault. The car's fault. The car's fault.
Children need to understand that the blame can't always be pinned on the traffic. They have to recognise that they must take responsibility for their own safety, and we as parents must recognise that too. It's their actions that will lead to them getting hurt or staying safe. Sometimes there are people there to help your child cross the road, but they won't always be there. So it's important that they learn to keep themselves safe.
If I was to get hit by a car, whose fault would it be? Would it be my fault or the car's fault?
The car's.
The car's fault? Why would it be the car's fault?
Because it was going too fast.
Because it was going too fast.
And it wasn't looking which way.
Right, okay. Well, what is it the cars drive on?
The
The road. And what do we walk on?
road.
So, if I go into a road, what have I got to make sure isn't there?
Cars.
A car. And so if I go into a road and a car hits me, what haven't I done?
You haven't looked up and down.
I haven't looked. So if I go into a road and I haven't looked, whose fault would it be?
Yours.
It'd be my fault, wouldn't it? That's right.
A 5-year-old who has had training can have as much road sense as an untrained 9-year-old. So, how do we give them that road sense? How do we get them to understand that staying safe around traffic is largely down to them?
So what we need to do is we need to stop, and then we need to look everywhere, and then before we cross over, we need to make sure there's no cars coming, then we cross over. Is that what we need to do? Yeah, that's right, isn't it? Okay, so should we have a go at doing that ourselves? All right then. So we need to stop here.
When we tell children things, we can't be sure we're getting through to them. What we need to do is have a proper conversation with them. We need to ask questions that will get our children thinking. Like this.
If I want to cross over this road, what have I got to do to keep safe?
You look up and down.
Look up and down. Anything else?
Stop looking
Stop, look and listen. Why do I have to be careful when I'm by a road?
Because you'll get run over.
I get run over. Now, if I got run over, what would happen to me, do you think? What could happen to me if I got run over?
You'd have to go to hospital.
I have to go to hospital. And what's the very worst thing that could happen to me?
You could die.
I could die. Really die, or just pretend?
Really?
Really? And how do you think my mummy and daddy would feel if that happened to me?
Sad.
I think they'd be really sad, wouldn't they?
Young children learn by doing things. They don't learn to improve their football skills in the classroom, they do it on the sports field. And the only place for them to learn road safety skills is at the roadside, with its junctions, its passing traffic, and its parked cars. And there's another good reason for training your child here. As every parent knows, children can be very good at talking the talk, but they don't always do what they say they will.
If I want to get over this road, what have I got to do to keep myself safe? Stop, look and listen. Okay then. Right, will you cross me over then, please? Oh, hang on a second. What did you say we had to do? Well, what didn't we do then? We didn't do anything, did we?
Make it natural so your child feels comfortable with it. And encourage them to take the lead in the conversation, as if it's them teaching you. That way, you'll get to know just what they understand, and more importantly, what they don't. Training our children in this way means they'll be learning for themselves, and the things they learn for themselves are the things that stick. Most road casualty reports start with 3 chilling words. Child ran out. Adults have years of experience in judging speed and distance and working out if it's safe to cross the road. We do it automatically, and sometimes we don't even stop before we cross. We've got the skills to judge gaps in the traffic, even while we're on the move. Children don't have those skills, and that puts them at risk. The safest way for a young child to cross the road is to stop first. That gives them the time to look and see if anything is coming. But are they aware of that?
So before we cross over, what should we do before we cross over?
Stop, look and listen.
Stop, look and listen. Okay, will you cross me over this road now then?
That's the answer most children will give you. It's something they've had drummed into them, but do they actually put it into practice?
Whoa, get back on the side. Oh, hang on a second. Do we just walk out like that? So what should we have done?
Waited.
We should have waited, we should have stopped. Now, will you cross me over this road, please? Oh, hang on a second. What did you tell me the first thing I had to do was before I crossed over the road? What was it? Stop. Did we stop then? We forgot, didn't we? So can we have another go at doing that, only this time we're going to stop? Okay, so take a step back and we walk and we... Oh, that's better.
Our children may well say that they should stop, look, and listen before they cross the road, but they need to put those words into action. They must stop to give themselves time to look and listen. Saying one thing, doing another. It's something you're likely to come across time and time again as you train your child. So, when you ask them what they should do once they've stopped at the curb, they may well say,
Look both ways.
Look both ways.
but what they're likely to do is this.
Will you show me then?
Again, we must ask our child what they're doing and why they're doing it. That way, we can help them realise for themselves what they're doing wrong and steer them towards doing it properly.
Well, you just pointed, so will you actually look for me, please? Down there, down there, and down there. You just really pointed your fingers. Will you actually look for me this time? That's better. Okay.
It's vital that your child understands the importance of looking and listening properly before stepping out. And that the safest way to cross a road is by going directly across, not at an angle.
Now I want to get over. Can you see that silver car over the road there?
Yeah.
I want to get to that house So will you be able to take me from here to the house, please?
Yeah.
What way are we going to walk to get there?
That way.
Like that? Well, if we walk like this from there to there,
Yeah.
will we be on the road for a little bit of time or a lot of time? A little bit. Right, well, can we count how many steps it takes us to get there?
Yeah.
So have a good look for me. Steps, okay? You ready?
Yeah.
So it's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 14, 15, 16 steps. It was 16 steps. That's quite a long time, isn't it?
Every second they're in the road, they are in danger. So the less time they spend there, the better.
6, 7, 8. So it was 8 that way, and it was 16 that way. Which is better?
8.
8's definitely better, isn't it? But he's not on the road for as long then. And now we can walk down the path and go to the house, can't we?
By talking to our children and getting them to show us how things should be done properly, we can help them to grasp the full importance of stopping, looking, and listening before they cross the road. But which direction should they look in?
That way or that way? Look both ways. That way and that way.
That might be okay for a road like this, where your child would have a clear view, no obstructions, and traffic only coming from 2 directions. But what about here?
That way or that way?
Right, just that way or that way? Can you think of anywhere else? What about that car? Where's that just come from? Down there. And where's it gone to?
Down there.
So you think maybe we need to look down those places as well? So where have we got to look then?
Yeah, and down there.
Down there,
And there.
and there, and there. Okay, so is there anything coming?
Crossing the road near a junction isn't easy, and our children are going to have to decide for themselves where it's best to cross.
And what about behind us? Can we see up that road okay? Can you see up there? Oh, why are you moving?
I can't see.
You can't see? Why can't you see?
Because I can't see because that's in the way.
Ah, right, so you can't see because that's in the way. So what?
Sometimes it's better to move away from the junction. In other places, you get the clearest view of traffic right at the junction. To help them make the right decision, there's one clear message they need to understand. Make sure you look in every direction, not just left and right. And don't forget to cross straight over, by the shortest route. Looking in all directions is one thing. Actually being able to see in all directions is quite another. Our roads are full of things that can prevent a child from seeing oncoming traffic. Some of them may not seem like a hazard to us, but to a child, they are. Our children need to know that before they step out into the road, they must be able to see clearly that nothing is coming. Many of the young children injured on the road have gone into the road from behind a parked car or other obstacle. With more and more traffic on our roads, learning to cross safely near parked cars is vital. For adults, they may not appear to be a problem. But for children, they are. If there's a parked car blocking their view, they can't see if the road is clear. That's obvious to us, but not to a child.
Ways. Okay, so will you have a look for me then? Have a look for me. Is anything coming?
No.
No, there's nothing coming. Are you sure? Can you see up and down this road okay? You can? So you can see up that road okay there, can you? Is there nothing in your way at all there? No.
Just as our children sometimes say one thing and do another, they'll often give answers that don't make sense to us.
You know, the car was driving down this road. Would the person in the car, would they be able to see you stood here? No, why not?
Because he might be on the phone.
Children can come up with all sorts of reasons why a driver wouldn't see them. But we need to get them to acknowledge the real reason, the parked car.
So we can't see properly, can we? And people can't see us. So is it a good idea for us to cross here, do you think? No. So where could we go that would be better? Over there? Okay, will you show me?
The message we need to give our children is that parked cars spell danger, and wherever possible, they should move away from them so they can see the road clearly. But let's face it, with more cars than ever clogging up our streets, Sometimes there won't be anywhere that gives a clear view of the road. So it's important that your child learns to cope in this situation. So, if you're completely satisfied that your child fully understands the dangers of objects blocking their view, then you can teach them this.
So where do you think we can go to?
The edge.
Go to the edge. Okay then. So, do you mean here, like this? All right. Okay, can we see up and down the road now? Well, what could these two cars do? What could that car do and that car do?
Come backwards.
They could move, couldn't they? So before we go here, we need to make sure these cars aren't going to move anywhere. So, is that car going to go anywhere?
No.
How do you know?
Because there's no smoke in the pipe.
So that's one thing we could check to see if there's any smoke coming out, couldn't we? Can you think of anything else that we could check? What comes on the back and the front, different colours? Lights. So is there any lights switched on? Anything else?
A person.
A person. So should we see if there's a person in there? Is there anybody in that car? No, we don't get too close, do we? But there's nobody in there. All right. And can you think of anything else that might tell us if a car's going to move? We've said the smoke that comes out the back. We've said the lights. We've said a person. Would we be able to hear anything? What?
The brumming noise.
The brumming noise, the engine. Can we hear the brumming noise on that car? All right then. So we've checked both of these cars. Are either of these cars going to go anywhere?
No.
So where can we go then so we can see better?
The edge.
Go to the edge. So will you take me there then? So we don't go past the edge, just stop here. So will you have a check for me? Let me know whether anything else is coming. And you tell me when we can cross over. And you're in charge, so it's up to you.
No.
Now, are you sure? Okay, brilliant. And we only ever cross like that when we've got nowhere else to go, don't we? That was fantastic. Thank you very much. You got me over the road lovely and safe there. Cheers.
In this DVD, we've shown you some of the simple and straightforward methods used by road safety trainers. We can help our children in exactly the same way. And we can do it quite easily if we remember a few basic things. Get them to teach you. That way, you'll find out how much or how little they understand. Use questions that make your child think. When children learn things for themselves, they're more likely to remember them. And don't forget that what a child says
Cross over. What should we do before we cross over?
Stop, look and listen.
Stop, look and listen. Okay, will you cross
and what a child does
You cross me over. Whoa, hang on a second. Let's get back on the side.
can be two different things. Children need to learn how to take care of themselves on the roads, and as their parents, we're the best people to teach them. They'll listen to us and learn from us, but we have to remember that if we've developed bad habits in crossing the road, then they'll learn those from us too. So we must set a good example. Take every opportunity you can to work with your child on their road safety skills. You don't need to make a big deal of it. Make it part of your everyday activities, when you're out shopping together or on the way to school. We all want to protect our children from harm, but we can't be there to hold their hand all the time. But if they can learn to be aware of dangers and know how to take care of themselves around traffic, then it's almost as if we were there beside them, every time they cross the road.